All of the reports, what you're saying and what I'm going to say, nothing is confirmed, but what we're hearing is this anti-aircraft fire, which was launched towards those incoming, whether it was rockets or airplanes, landed also near a gas station in Syria, and that caused the death of these two civilians. Again, these are reports coming out of Syria. No confirmation of that yet. There are also reports that another aircraft, anti-aircraft fire from Syria actually crossed into Israel and exploded over Israeli territory near the city of Haifa in northern Israel. So casualties may not come only from the attacks themselves, but from the anti-aircraft fire that is launched towards those missiles. As far as we're hearing, this is what brought the death of the two civilians in Syria. Again, no confirmation from that from any source. What we do know is that these attacks attributed to Israel, they've been happening in a pace much bigger in the past month or so, since the meeting of Prime Minister Naftali Bennett with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Are those two things connected? No one will say yes. Okay, is it a calculated guess? Absolutely.
Well, that's really interesting because there have been some speculations by analysts also that maybe there is this attempt to sort of up the pressure on Syria to oust the Iranian presence in the country, that even the Russians are starting to understand maybe that the Iranian presence in the country is not to its benefit, and also that Syria is now trying to reach out to Arab countries to regain admittance to the Arab League, to re-engage its relationship, for instance, with United Arab Emirates, with the foreign minister in Damascus, and maybe one of the prices it will have to pay is to remove those Iranian forces in Syria, and Israel may be also trying to send that message as well.
Yes, and ironically enough, Israel and Syria may find themselves on the same side here. Iran was a great ally of the Syrians, of the Russians, as long as the civil war was going on, until President Assad regained control of the country. Now that it has happened, the Iranians are sort of a disturbing factor, not only for Israel, but also for Russia, who needs peace and quiet in order to start rebuilding Syria. There's a lot of money to be made for that, for Russian companies, and for Syria itself, which wants to go back into the family of nations and the family of Arab nations. As you mentioned, there were visits of Jordanians, there were visits of there's a visit of the foreign minister from the United Arab Emirates. All those factors will want to see peace and quiet. The Iranian presence there is something that does not contribute to that.